Today's lesson is called Plus Talk, Rescheduling. Hello, everyone. My name is Jeff.
My name is Roger, and of course our program is on at the same time every day, but sometimes, of course, if you're making a reservation and then later you realize that you made the reservation for the wrong time or something came up, then you need to change your reservation. You might need to cancel it or you may need to reschedule it.
There you go. Not too long ago, we made an appointment for our daughter to see the dentist. But it turned out she had a piano lesson on that day at the same time. So we had to call the dentist and say, well, we can't make it at the time that we had arranged before. So can we reschedule things? We still need our daughter to see you, Mr. Dentist, but can we see you at a later time? That's what rescheduling is all about. That's what we are going to be talking about during this month's Plus Talk lesson. Anyways, the first part of our lesson is called Changing a Check-in Date. We've got Nora, and then we also have a hotel receptionist. They will be talking it up, chatting it up, right after a short break, so don't go away. We'll be right back after this.
Rescheduling. 1. Changing a check-in date. Nora calls the hotel to change her check-in date.
This is Las Vegas Hotel. How may I help you?
Yes, hello. I booked a double room at your hotel and I need to make a change to the reservation.
Do you have your booking reference number handy? It's in the confirmation email we sent out.
I have it here. It's AFD 23645.
Okay, got it. What would you like to change?
Is it possible to change the check-in date? Something came up and now we won't arrive until Sunday.
Not a problem. Fortunately, there are no fees for changes made more than 24 hours in advance. Your new check-in date is Sunday, April 18th.
大家好，第一部分我们看到名词 receptionist 指接待员、招待员，像是 Speak to the receptionist if you would like to make an appointment with Dr. Jones. 如果你想要预约 Jones 医生，请和接待员联系。另外，这个字去掉字尾 ist 就成了另一个名词 reception。有以下几种用法。第一，指接待、接待处。例如 The king was given a grand reception upon arriving at the castle. 国王抵达城堡时受到盛大的欢迎。或是 When you get to the office, ask for Mr. Haynes at reception. 当你抵达办公室，去接待处说要找 Haynes 先生。第二，指反应、回应。举例来说 The reception of the singer's new album by the audience was excellent. 那名歌手的新专辑在听众间反应热烈。第三，指无线电等信号的接收。我们可以说 Most cell phones get poor reception when carried into an elevator. 大多数的手机在电梯里收讯都不好。接着我们看到单字 reference 这个字是名词，指查询、查阅、参考。例如 He put a pen next to the spider as a reference to show its size. 他在那只蜘蛛旁边放了一支笔来当作体型大小的参考。另外，这个字也可以当动词，指引用，作为参考。我们可以说 Minnie referenced a number of research papers during the debate. Minnie 在辩论时引用了一些研究论文。再补充一个相关片语 in or with reference to 加名词，表示关于点点点。举例来说In reference to the question you asked earlier, I'd like to talk more about it now. 关于你稍早提出的问题，我现在想要多谈一下。再来，我们看到名词 confirmation 指确认、确定。例如 I am waiting for confirmation that my purchase went through. 我正在等我买的商品的确认通知。另外，这个字去掉字尾 ation 就成了动词 confirm 指证实、确认。举例来说Please confirm that all the information you've entered is correct. 请确认你填入的所有资料是正确的。
Okay, let's dive into our conversation again. It's between Nora and HR, which stands for the hotel receptionist. And this conversation is all about changing a check-in date. When you go to stay at a hotel or a B&B or whatever, you're going to have a check-in date and a check-out date. When you check in and when you check out. And of course, when you check in is when you arrive. So Nora calls the hotel to change her check-in date. She needs to change the date for some reason. We'll find out what the reason is in just a couple of seconds here. But again, here we've got the hotel receptionist. That is the person who works at the front desk, the counter there. They answer phones, they check in guests, they check out guests, they perform all sorts of services.
Now, the hotel receptionist answers the phone and says, "This is Las Vegas Hotel. How may I help you?" Wow, it sounds like Nora is going to go to Las Vegas. Maybe she'll strike it rich there.
Maybe, or she's just in some place that happens to have a hotel that's called Las Vegas Hotel. And of course, the receptionist can't just say, "Hello, what do you want?" No, they have to be polite. "This is Las Vegas Hotel. How may I help you? What can I do for you today?" And Nora, well, she talks here. She says, "Yes, hello." And then she gets down to business here. She states the reason why she called. "I booked a double room at your hotel, and I need to make a change to the reservation." Now, of course, to reserve is the verb. If you want to have a table at a restaurant, you will reserve a table, or you need to reserve a room at a hotel. And that process is called the reservation. You make a reservation when you reserve a room or a table.
You can also say you've got a booking. Okay, so here you could have a hotel booking. That means you have called ahead and arranged to have a room held for you at that hotel for a certain amount of time, from one day to some other date. Anyways, the hotel receptionist says, "Do you have your booking reference number handy?" Now, a reference number. That means that this number refers to something specific. Correct, Roger?
It does. It's a reference number. It refers to something. So indeed, when you make a reservation online, or maybe when you call them, they will give you a number, and that's a reference number, so that if they need to make some modifications or they need to notify you about something, they can find you through this number. It's going to be a number in their database. And, of course, here the receptionist has another statement. It's in the confirmation email we sent you. Indeed, when you make a reservation online, they will send you an email back. Or maybe nowadays they'll send you a text message online or WhatsApp or however you do that with your phone. But yes, indeed, you will receive a confirmation number, a confirmation email. That email confirms your reservation. It makes sure that they received the reservation, so you know you don't have anything to worry about.
There you go. Nora says, "I have it here. It's AFD 23645. And yes, sometimes confirmation numbers do contain letters. They're more unique in that way. There are more combinations that you can create with letters plus numbers. Anyways, the hotel receptionist says, "Okay, got it. What would you like to change?" Nora says, "Is it possible to change the check-in date? Something came up, and now we won't arrive until Sunday." So there's nothing wrong with the check-out date, just the check-in date.
Yep, you could change all sorts of things. The check-in date, the check-out date. Maybe you want a bigger room. Maybe you want a smaller room. But in this case, she says something came up. If something comes up, that means something has showed up on your schedule. You got a phone call from your boss or something, and there's something important that you need to do. Or maybe you have a family emergency or something like that. Yes, something came up, something happened, and we're going to have to do something. So she says, we won't arrive until Sunday. So I guess she's going to arrive later because she has something else to do.
There you go. Now, it turns out that Nora, it's not going to be a problem for her to change her check-in date at all. Yay. I know this because the hotel receptionist says not a problem. Fortunately, there are no fees for changes made more than 24 hours in advance. So not only can she change the check-in date, she won't have to pay any fees for doing so either. And the hotel receptionist says, your new check-in date is Sunday, April 18th. How about that? Sounds like everything worked out. Now, it is time for us to take a short break, but when we come back, we'll have part 2 of this month's Plus Talk dialogue. It's called Rescheduling a Tour Package.
2. Rescheduling a tour package. Nora asks her travel agent about rescheduling a tour package. So, you'd like to reschedule the tour of the Grand Canyon?
Yes, please. Are there any similar packages available the following day?
You're in luck. The company just notified me that another group had to cancel their trip, so their seats have opened up.
That sounds great. Is there a fee?
The company has a strict 5-day cancellation policy, which you've missed the window for. So if you cancel the tour now, you'll lose your non-refundable deposit. But if you reschedule, you'll pay a small fee of only $20 per person. I recommend rescheduling.
That makes sense. Okay, let's do it.
第二部分我们看到单字 notify 这个字是动词，指通知、告知，常写作 notify somebody 加 that 子句，或是 notify somebody of something 表示通知某人点点点。举例来说 Mark from headquarters notified us that he will be visiting our office next week. 来自总部的 Mark 通知我们下周会拜访我们的办公室，或是 Please notify me of any changes to the schedule. 如果行程有任何变动，请通知我。最后，我们看到动词 recommend 指建议、推荐。举例来说 The post office recommends taping packages rather than using string. 邮局建议把包裹用胶带封好，而不要用绳子绑。或是 This restaurant was recommended to me by my supervisor. 这家餐厅是我主管推荐给我的。
Okay, so something else you might want to change would be a tour package. If you're going someplace, if you're traveling someplace, and you just don't want to do these things yourself, you may arrange a tour package where you meet some people and you get on a tourist bus and they make all the arrangements for you. They take you there, they give you lunch and stuff like that. So in this particular case, though, Nora wants to reschedule a tour package. She scheduled one before, but now she wants to make some changes again.
Okay, so she's got a tour package for the Grand Canyon, and now because she's changing her schedule for her hotel thing, she also wants to reschedule her tour package there in something next to Las Vegas, the Grand Canyon. Anyways, we've got a travel agent now that Nora is going to be talking to. And yes, Nora asks her travel agent about rescheduling a tour package. And the travel agent says, so, you'd like to reschedule the tour of the Grand Canyon?
Yep, she says, yes, please. I would like to reschedule the tour of the Grand Canyon. And she has a question. Are there any similar packages available the following day? And the travel agent says, you're in luck. The company just notified me that another group had to cancel their trip, so their seats have opened up. So there is an opening for the next day because there was a cancellation. And they found out about this cancellation because the company notified the travel agent. So to notify someone just means to give them some kind of updated information.
So here, this is fortunate that another group canceled their trip. Their seats have opened up. And I guess Nora can slide right in there. And Nora says, that sounds great. And then she asks a question. Is there a fee? And the travel agent says, the company has a strict 5-day cancellation policy, which you've missed the window for. So she's going to get dinged here. So if you cancel the tour now, you'll lose your non-refundable deposit. But if you reschedule, you'll pay a small fee of only $20 per person. I recommend rescheduling. So she's not really going to get hurt too bad, but she is going to get fined a small amount. And that's what I meant by saying she's going to get dinged. So here the travel agent suggests or recommends rescheduling.
Right, so she still is penalized for trying to change the reservation within a certain period of time because, you know, they lose money if you cancel like that, so they need to have a deposit there so they don't lose money. I think you all understand how that works, but still, she's in luck here because she can reschedule and she'll only have to pay a small fee of only $20 per person. And that's what the travel agent recommends that she do. She says, that makes sense. That's logical. That's okay. Let's do it. I'll go ahead and change the reservation. And I'm sure she's going to have a wonderful time taking a tour of the Grand Canyon. Okay, that brings us to the end of our explanation for today. Let's now listen to our Chinese teacher.
各位同学大家好，我是 Hanny。 我们来看今天的文法重点。在课文第一部分的对话里， Nora 打电话去饭店更改入住日期，那么饭店接待员请他提供这个确认信里面的订房查询号码 confirmation email 就可以表达确认信哦。那么其中的名词 confirmation 它表示确认确定，这个字是来自动词 confirm， 那我们就来学它的字首字根。好 F-I-R-M firm 这个字根呢，它有坚固的、坚定的或是强壮的意思。那么在 confirm 这个字当中，它的字首 C-O-N 表示共同，字根 firm 表示坚定的。好，我们在跟对方做确认的时候，就是要确保彼此有共同的认知，我们双方的看法决定都是坚定一致的。那用这样的方式，也许就可以联想到 confirm 它有确认的意思。好，顺便补充几个有相同字根的单字。第一个补充的是 affirm A-F-F-I-R-M， 它的字首 A-F 是来自 A-D， 那么 A-D 因为碰到 F 开头的字根才变成 A-F。 这个字首呢，它带有强调的意思。那么字根 firm 表示坚定的，合在一起 affirm 就有肯定、断言或是证实的意思。那另外一个补充的是 infirm I-N-F-I-R-M， 它的字首 I-N 表示否定，那么字根 F-I-R-M 表示强壮的，然后把它否定掉，所以把它合在一起 infirm 就是用来形容它是体弱的、病弱的、需要照顾的，尤其是指因为年迈而长期病弱的状态。好，接着 Nora 她说因为发生一点事，他们现在要礼拜天才能抵达，所以想要更改入住日期。Nora 在这边它是用到 something came up 来表达突然出了一点事。好，那么 come up 在这边就是表达突然发生、突然出现的意思。something 也可以换成其他名词，像你可以说 family emergency came up 就可以表达家里有急事，突然出现家里的急事。好，那我这边再帮同学们补充片语动词 come up 的其他不同意思。第一个呢，你可以用 come up 来表达接近、走靠近什么什么，后面可以接 to 再加人或事物。举例来说 He came up to me, introduced himself and handed me his business card. 他走靠近我，向我来自我介绍，并且递了一张名片。第二个，我们可以用 come up 来表达接近或是即将发生的意思，像你可以说 The election is coming up， 就是说选举快到了。第三个用法是拿 come up 来表达升起，像是太阳或月亮升起之类的。例如 She usually wakes up before the sun comes up. 她通常在太阳升起之前就醒来了。那么第四个，我们可以用 come up 来表达被提到、被讨论的语义。例如 The issue never came up in the discussion. 在讨论会中完全没有提到那个议题。好啦，那么以上是今天重点整理，我们来回顾今天的单字吧。
Reservation. Timothy called the restaurant to make a dinner reservation. Reference. Randy used the book as a reference while writing his essay. Notify. If your house gets robbed, you should notify the police immediately. Recommend. I recommend the chicken cream spaghetti. It's delicious.
Well, everyone, today's article has come to an end, and I sure hope you guys enjoyed reading and learning along with us. I am Jeff.
I am Roger.
See you next time.